record. How's Halen doing today? Ugh. Stop it. He's still, even though he's getting so big, he still has puppy ears and puppy face.
Yeah, he's got these big floppy ears.
That type of retriever always looks so sleepy.
Cute.
Stoned.
He's good. He's so big. 45 pounds.
How much does Hattie weigh?
64.
Ooh, he's getting there fast.
He's 5.5 months, which is 13 pounds.
What should we talk about tonight?
Oh, you guys, I'm so fucking sick. Just a fucking week of insane work to the week of in theme parks with idiots to flying for 6 hours.
Happiest place on earth. Here's
Oh,
the
man,
thing.
let's start recording because I've got some. I think half this episode
I'm
is gonna be me
recording.
bitching about Disney.
I've been recording.
I have thoughts on Disney versus Disney World.
Let's start pretending like we're making an episode of something.
Okay.
What do you guys think that we should just go right into the coming up, or should there be a little bit of
I feel like
foreplay?
I like the coming up.
Coming
Yeah,
up.
I do too. And then we can fuck around.
Coming up on Verse Chorus Verse, Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
It's not. Coming up on Verse Chorus Verse, what happens when you say no to Prozac and embrace darkness? Well, you get DL, but you also get an album that we're about to talk about. That's next.
Stay right by your side, 'cause you and me.
Hi, everybody. I am DL. I hope you're well. With me is Evil. There is no you. There is only me, Jimmy. Evil, how are you?
That's real good. I like that. I'm going to legally change my name.
Do that.
To There Is No You, There's Only Me.
There is only me.
Also with us is Rachel. The problem is that there is you, though. So I don't know how it works.
It is
I
a
don't really
problem.
get it. Polio. Rachel, how are you?
I'm doing great.
It looks, when you are just standing there and the dog's in the background, you look like you got a Muppet. Like you look like Fozzie the Bear is coming up over your shoulder or something.
I like it.
Fucking dogs. This is not going to work. Hold on.
It'll work fine. Wait, that's what she said. Damn it. I missed it.
I'm still proud of you.
Oh my gosh, I'm killing this today. It's so
Proud of you.
good.
Right.
I'm almost thirsty.
What you drinking?
Oh, you'll find out.
Rach,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
I'm good. You just asked me that. I'm doing great. I'm super
You didn't get a
excited.
chance to answer. I interrupted you. It's not like me to interrupt on this podcast, but I did interrupt.
It's not. You're
you.
very polite, actually. You're usually like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead."
I usually say I really want you to finish, but I have no intention of you ever finishing. That's what
That's
she
what
said.
she said.
Yes.
Very, very good.
So we're all good.
David, how are you?
Everybody's good.
Yeah.
I'm sick
Let's talk about
as
you.
a dog, but I don't care because I've got a drink and a Red Bull and a water, and I'm just faking it.
What kind
You
of
know?
dog?
What kind of dog do I have?
Yeah.
She's
No, what kind of dog are you sick like?
Oh,
whatever my dog is, which is like a mostly Staffordshire Terrier, idiot pit bull-ish kind of. Yeah.
I
that
would have
sort of
pictured
thing.
you with a bigger dog.
If you met her, she's nice,
Mm-hmm.
but she's always fucking annoyingly bouncing around, which can be,
That's
you know,
good for you.
yeah. She's a runner. She likes to run.
Yeah.
How about your dog?
She likes to sleep and lie around, which is perfect for me.
It's very
That's
dog-like.
great.
And I have this new trick where I just like put on a heated blanket and then she comes and snuggles me because she wants the heated
Aw.
blanket. It's great. So I have really bad seasonal allergies and I sneeze a lot during summertime.
But
Trevor, whenever he worked from home, would like just yell "bless you" from the bottom floor to me upstairs in my office. And then he made this sign with his face. And so it just says "bless you." So he
that's
wouldn't
really
have to
cute.
yell it. Isn't that fun? But now I have his weird face above my head. And it looks odd.
Yeah.
I like it. I feel blessed.
It's just hovering.
Always watching you.
I believe that.
Okay. 9 Inch Nails, we're done. Are you guys happy?
Yeah. I want to get this over with.
You guys,
Here's the thing.
You guys stopped listening to Nine Inch Nails like 3 weeks ago, didn't you?
I definitely took a pause,
Yeah, I did pause. I paused a bit.
but I also studied multiple times for the same episode because it kept getting moved.
Yeah.
And so I went to listen to it today because I was like, I forgot everything. And I re-listened to it and reread my notes, and I was like, I actually know everything still,
That's good.
Good.
which is good.
That's wonderful.
Tell me about Nine Inch Nails. She knows everything. I want her to tell me about it.
I know everything.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. Evil.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you over Nine Inch Nails?
Nah, I'm not over Nine Inch Nails. I could go on a break.
We should go on a break.
Leading the witness a little bit, because this is getting into the meat of the episode, but
Yeah.
it grows on you
I think it
like a
does.
fungus. No, like his music can be
Fungus
very
that
obtuse.
fungus that takes control of ants' brains and it starts growing
Yeah,
into their
cordyceps.
brains.
So yeah,
Yeah, makes them do shit. Yeah.
yeah. You got to kind of simmer in that in a lot of his music, a lot of Reznor's stuff, and then it permeates your noodle, your brain. And I had to change listening habits. I mean, we talked about this in the
Yeah. You couldn't pump iron
catalog
to it.
breakdown. Is like it's not music I can just go walk the dogs and throw on and listen to.
Yeah.
Right.
This album, same way. Some of the tracks are a little more immediate, so they're like the pop bangers, the singles. I have to listen differently, so I had to, as much as I hate and fear change, I had to embrace it a little bit. Yeah.
I just got back from a week at a Disney resort.
Disneyland.
Going to Disney World. Well, I didn't realize that it's not Disney World. Disney World is the whole thing. It's Magic Kingdom is the actual park. And then
Yeah.
they have other parks like Animal Kingdom and Universal and Hollywood. Rachel,
You telling me that America isn't the entire world?
I mean, soon.
Depends on who you ask.
Just give it a week or two, Jimmy. We're almost there.
I know. United
Pangea, let's
States
push
of
back.
Earth.
Pan America.
Oh,
Rachel,
yeah.
you're a Disney fight. How do you fucking do it?
Here's the thing. There is a massive difference between parks, between Florida and California.
Oh.
And I think it's coastal. Like people in California, it's slower, it's more chill, everybody's like very nice. In Florida, it was a very different vibe, and I think it's cuz East Coast, West Coast. But like
Alligators.
alligators
alligators?
everywhere.
Yeah.
Old people, but also I felt like very overstimulated in Florida versus California. Like it seemed like
Interesting.
a lot of chaos and noise, and visually like I wasn't as big of a fan of it, even though they had all the other like fun parks stuff that they don't have in California.
Okay, so your team California Disney.
Yes.
Okay. I really, really wanted to not be the very, very, like, we all knew how DL was going to be in a fucking theme park.
Right.
Like, we knew how that was going to go.
You hate fun.
I do.
Yes.
And honestly, like, so we went to Animal Kingdom first, and that was awesome. We did the whole Avatar world thing, and that was really, really cool. My daughter it was her first, like, real theme park roller coaster rides, which I'll talk about
geez.
that. But but that was really, really cool. The experience, you got to see a shit ton of animals, got to see a baby elephant playing around in the mud. It was like awesome shit. But yeah, then we go to Disney World, and it's 80 degrees. It's 70% morbidly obese scooter riders. There's
It's Wall-E.
What? Like, it's not like a fucking
is
lie.
Wall-E.
It's true. Yeah. And
That's
people
such a good movie.
just standing in fucking 80-minute lines to do 37-second rides, and it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we doing here? And even my daughter, she's 10. She's like, by the end of the first day, she's like, that ride's cool. I'm not fucking going in that line again. Like, go to hell. Like, no thanks. Can we go home and just swim in the pool? I don't know. we went to Harry Potter World, and, and I was watching this 40-something-year-old male try to do a wand trick to this like umbrella to make water pour out of it, just like a fucking fountain that's gonna randomly come on every whatever. He was getting mad. He was like starting to do it faster. And I even at the beginning, I asked my daughter if she wanted to win. And even her, she was kind of like, no, I'm good. Like, I'm probably a little too old for that.
She's 10.
Yeah.
You don't even get your like letter till you're like 11 or 12, right? I don't remember.
Letter? What letter?
To go to Hogwarts.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, sorry.
Acceptance
We're
letter.
not nerds.
I think it's
We
11
don't
or
know.
12.
Yeah, but you're a Harry Potter person?
I'm not
No.
super... Oh. Him or me?
I knew evil's not. No.
Yeah, okay.
There's no metal in Harry Potter.
No.
No.
I've gone through like the books and the movies and stuff, but I'm not like super obsessed. But I do have to say, out of everything in California, the Harry Potter stuff was the coolest.
That was the fucking biggest part of when you walked in. You couldn't even, like, it was asses to elbows. You could not fucking go anywhere.
See, and it all also depends on what time of year you go too.
We
You would
went
think
on
it would have been...
It was supposed to be one of the least busy, like,
Yeah.
times. Evil, how often do you guys go to Disney?
Nope.
Once, twice a year?
No.
Have you been to Disney? Like,
When I was a kid, I went twice.
but you don't want to take the kids? The kids have no interest. They're kind of older, right?
Oliver has zero
Yeah.
interest. Eve went with Megan and took Eve down to a soccer tournament. Was it last year? And they went and for a little. They spent like a day and a half there, and
Sure.
that was enough. Crowds. They wanted. He was like, "Let's go shopping." Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
your people don't strike me as Disney people either so much.
Not
They'd
so
rather
much.
do weird, healthy things.
Like hike.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say the amount that we fucking walked, though, on those days. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus, right?
those were like half marathon days of walking, which that makes you feel kind of good. But
Yeah.
so first roller coaster my daughter ever does is I don't know if you were young and you went on it. We knew it as the Matterhorn, but they changed it to it's based on Everest now. That's the first ride. My daughter's always been like a big fear, like she's into it. She likes the scary movies, all that stuff. And so I was kind of hyping it up. You know, there's a Yeti that's going to pop out and, you know, it's your first roller coaster. It's going to be intense and stuff. And she was kind of like playing along and like, maybe we shouldn't go on it and ha 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 ha. And we get on the fucking ride and like, I didn't realize it, but the thing opens so that we can sit down and she's like, I'm not doing this. And she just like tries to turn around and walk off. I'm like, no, it's fine.
Too late.
We get on the ride and she breaks down, like just starts bawling. And we're like,
David.
before the thing even like starts to go up,
no.
she's screaming, "Why did you make me do this?" Like at me.
Oh.
Like, there's a little boy on the right in front of us that's turning around. That's like, "It's okay. It's going to be fun. I promise." Like, it was bad. It was very traumatizing. But
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I fucked that up real good. But then the next day we go on coasters that are like fucking. Did you do Universal too, Rachel?
I did it I just did it that one time. I've only been to Florida once, so.
Did you do Universal though? Mm-hmm. So you know,
Yeah.
like the coasters there are way fucking more intense. Like the
Yeah, for
Velociraptor or whatever, and it was just a fucking headspace thing because she loved those. Like after that, it was
so
like,
strange.
let's go faster and bigger. And
I guess she just had to get one out of her system though too, probably.
I think it was to spite me. I think it was like I'm gonna admit, you know, it's gonna crush you if I just get really upset on this ride. I think there's a lot of
like her mind
Machiavellian
games.
instincts in my daughter. Yeah, for
Yes.
real. She's kind of evil. So that's my Disney story, everybody.
Yeah.
Super fun.
I like it.
We should all go.
Good for
We
you
should
for
record
taking 'em.
there.
That would be amazing.
We couldn't afford that in a million years.
That's true. Here's the thing. You can get flights from my city to John Wayne Airport. You can get flights for under $100. Like, I think they were like 64 or 72
Wow.
or something like that. Because it's just one straight flight down there on this like really shitty, it's called Allegiant. It's the same thing as like Spirit or Frontier or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you're sitting in like fold out chairs as you're flying that are just kind of like glued
Like
to the ground.
Fucking lunch trays. Yeah.
Right. So you can get down there for super cheap, but then, you know, park tickets and hotel
right.
and food in the fucking park is
Yeah. And
ludicrous.
if they see you recording in the park, like Mickey comes out and takes you in a back
Right.
room and shit. Yeah. Yeah. It really
believe that.
is. That was the other thing that I texted you guys is the thing that I did really enjoy was just how many fucking adults are like yelling at each other.
And I think that's a Florida versus California thing too, because I'm so used to California and people are so nice.
The
nobody's.
employees were nice.
Well, yeah, they're nice everywhere
Yeah.
because they have to be. But
Man,
like customers or, you know, people that are touring the park.
you get to
They're
2
so nice in
p.m.
California.
Those parents, they're not fuck. Every conversation you overhear is like, I'm not fucking going over and doing that. Like, it's 82 degrees. I'm not going over that fucking ride. Like, this is supposed to be fun. I fucking hate this. Like,
Yeah.
I love
Also, weather-wise, I always go California in like October or December, and it's so like not 1,000 degrees and humid. So I
Yeah.
think that kind
Helpful.
of increases people's anger.
Yeah.
So
I don't
they're
know.
just grumpy.
I doubt I'll go again. Animal Kingdom,
go to
though,
California.
guys. It's pretty good.
You know what your vibe would be is Paris, because it's half the size and it's cold and
Paris.
Nobody talks to
oh,
each
like
other.
Disney in Paris?
yeah,
I don't know. I've met Parisians.
they're assholes.
Yeah.
But they're very quiet at the parks.
Yeah, I might enjoy it a little bit.
Yeah.
That might be kind of fun. You get on all the rides and all the characters are like, we don't want to be here. Fuck you.
Like Mickey's smoking.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm not going to. Wait, have you been to Disney in Paris?
Yeah.
That is by far the most American thing that one can possibly do, I would think.
Yes. 1,000%.
Yeah. Good job, Rach. You're more American than any of us.
Also, we like to hit McDonald's in every country that we visit.
Le
At
Big
least-
Mac.
Le Big Mac.
Yeah.
What is it?
Did you get
The
a Royale with
Now
cheese?
cheese.
Yes.
God, that movie's good.
Yes.
Evil, you're being very quiet about this Disney conversation. What about Disney music? Are you a big Disney music fan?
Huge fan. I love the
Huge.
Disney music.
I don't
Huge.
believe you.
It's the biggest music. It's the best. I did, you know, in choir as a kid, we sang Disney tunes. We sang Under the Sea and all that stuff. It was fun,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't do it again.
I like the old stuff. I like the Jungle Book soundtrack kicks fucking ass. Like
Yeah.
that's Louis Prima. And Cruella de Vil's a cool fucking song with the cantina piano stuff. I like when Disney was jazzy.
The Aristocats?
Yeah.
Oh, that one.
Yeah,
that was a
that
good
stuff was cool.
What's your favorite Disney animated films?
Probably Jungle Book.
It's a good one.
Jungle Book's the shit. You know what I didn't get into was the massive ones that everybody, like Lion King and Aladdin and the ones that
Fine.
when we were youngish that were just
Huge.
highest grossing movies of all
Yeah, yeah.
time.
Yeah. They're
But
fine.
I could watch Jungle Book right now and be way into it. Fucking Baloo the pothead. What about you?
I like the.
No, let her go.
You like the what?
You
I
probably
like the classics, like the old Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White.
Barely remember. You know what I like about the old ones is they're fucking scary. Like they're
Yeah.
dark.
they're
Yeah.
Like
fairy tales, like real fairy tales.
yeah,
Yeah.
like what
Like
are the
cautionary
guys?
tales.
What are the guys that did all the like Rumpelstiltskin and
The
Brothers
Christensen?
Grimm.
Brothers Grimm?
Oh,
yeah.
Just kidding.
Like the really dark shit that if you really read the old
Yeah.
ones, it's always somebody's skin getting ripped inside out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wholesome.
Right.
Maleficent is the original Maleficent is a terrifying fucking looking character.
You know, in the movie, the recent one with Angelina Jolie, because she had the horns and she looked scary, all of the little kids like wouldn't go near her. And so they had her daughter play
do a
like the young
doll.
Aurora because like she came up to her and was like giggling and like playing with her horns and stuff.
Evil, what's your favorite animated Disney movie?
Robin Hood. Always
That's-
has been.
Oh, that's a good
great
one.
Yep.
That's really good. That has a Jungle Book vibe. It's very
Yeah.
chill.
Yep.
It's very just they're all kind of like moseying around, and they're not smoking pot, but you can tell that they're kind of
They might be.
yeah.
Oh, Alice in Wonderland.
Love
That's a
Alice
good
in
one.
Wonderland. That's a fantastic movie. That's great. I think there's probably one or two we're missing. This has been Disney Corner on.
I love it.
Now that we're done with Disney, let's get into a very
Let's talk about 9 Inch Nails.
yeah.
Yeah.
Segue.
Walt would be very, very happy. With Teeth, we're ending our 9 Inch Nails coverage with an album that it was, I think it ended up being we did the rankings, it was my 4th or 5th favorite. So
That's surprising.
here's why I picked it. And keep in mind, I always do these picks before I study and realize what my real rankings actually
Right.
are. But this was always look, there are very few artists that, and we'll talk about this, I'm sure, but that sober up and write good shit. But Reznor being a digital age composer, I can see where having a game plan and being sober and being able to strategize your studio time and stuff like that. To me, this album has always been very well structured for a Trent Reznor project. It's always felt like he looking to be a little more radio friendly. You're going to have a couple more 3-minute ditties, some killer riffs, some stuff like that. What were your guys' initial takes on With Teeth?
Out of the gate, first track, I'm just like, oh no.
It starts out way too soft. It's a little misleading.
A, that's what she said. And B,
But
some people might not agree with that.
now I'll talk more about the first track later. I found it was like a microcosm of studying for the big one, the
whole thing.
discography, where I was like, oh God, this is so daunting. I don't want to do it. And the more time I spent simmering in the compositions, the more I liked them. And I'm thick and dense, but I do learn from my mistakes. So that's what she said.
Yeah.
I realized I needed to listen to this album differently than I do most music. I can't just throw it on when I'm walking the dogs, or
Right.
it's not actually this more than some of the other albums is
Sure.
more like workout music.
There-
There's some more a few of the tracks are more
Yeah.
immediate. So, I was able to do that a bit, but I deliberately listened differently than I normally do, which I think was helpful. It allowed me to kind of get into it more. That initial like, oh fuck, not this again. That melted away fairly quickly, and I wound up enjoying it mostly.
Yay.
Yay!
Rachel,
Mostly.
what was your With Teeth experience?
I stand by my statement of this started off a little soft and incredibly misleading. So this was like his idea coming into this was like, I'm going to make a concept album. And it ended up not being a concept album. It ended up being a bunch of songs that kind of go together, but not really. And I don't know, personally, I don't know that this was put together, like the structure of it, I don't really love. And it made me not like the album as much, I think. I think if I could have rearranged it a little bit more, because I like to listen straight through. But I do think that out of all of the albums, this one is the most radio friendly. So this one is probably the easiest one for me to listen to because it was the least scary.
When you say you like to listen to it all the way through and there's a specific structure that you're looking for, what is that? Because I like that there's layers of you start slow, you get higher, but then you don't want to, in high fidelity, you don't want to blow your wad, so you got to cool it off a little bit. And what's your structure you look for in a album 1 to 12?
I mean, maybe I just love a concept album and I like a story to be told. And I feel like because this was kind of not that way, like that aspect of it lost the structure. Yeah. just because it didn't have a story to tell, then I think that the songs weren't placed how I would like them to be placed, I guess. Like I said, starting out like really, really quiet, it gave me a different idea of what the album was going to be. And I think the lead off song should be the one that like, that draws you in, because on Spotify, you know, if you hit an album, the first song is the one that plays automatically. And if you're not into it, and if it doesn't sound like the rest of the album's going to sound, then I wouldn't have continued to listen to it, probably.
I understand
if I was
that.
expecting Downward Spiral, 9 Inch Nails.
Well, but it's 9 Inch Nails. It's Trent Reznor, though. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to hit you with a traditional track one side run, Soundgarden, fucking kick your teeth in off outside of the gate sort of thing. We're going to talk a lot more about With Teeth. First, we got to get to the most important part of the night. What we're drinking. Rachel,
David.
what, 3 episodes into season 5? Has she changed her drink yet? No.
I am drinking Coke and vodka. Whipped cream vodka, keeping it real. Coke today, though.
Very artificial, actually, but
I'm very into. I'm super into junk food. I don't know if you know this about me.
yeah. One of
but
these
I
days, your metabolism is going to give in on you, and it's not going to be fun for you.
See, here's the thing: is I feel like anyone could just eat garbage if they wanted to, as long as they knew the portions that made sense for them.
That's absolutely untrue. But
because that's me. If I eat a kid's meal, I can eat garbage all day long, and it's fine.
If you eat a kid's meal,
Like,
I'm just
if you eat smaller
like a kid's meal
portions of
portion.
shit, okay,
she caps the calories. There is that there.
Yeah,
Technically,
It's
that
true.
would work.
Sucka.
Now, I don't know about long-term health benefits.
Yeah.
I mean, my organs are still
53,
surrounded by fat, but but so Coca-Cola came out with an orange cream soda.
yeah, but it's 0 sugar.
Yeah, this one's it's fine. I could drink like 8 of these.
Completely healthy. You won't get cancer
Jimmy
from it
rolls
at
his
all.
eyes.
Yeah.
I drink water too. But yeah, just whipped cream vodka and some orange cream Coca-Cola Zero. That's what I have today.
Hey, I'm not judging because mine is no better, honestly.
You go next then.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy's is beautiful.
I feel great right now just because of the booze and the Red Bull, but I am sick. I feel like shit most of the time. I was super lazy. I had a bottle of champagne left from New Year's, so I popped that and I'm drinking Bellinis, which are just delightful. All it is I got some fresh strawberries, put a little bit of peach juice in the bottom of the flute, and topped it with champagne, and that's
Do you
it.
muddle it at all?
No,
just
I
pop the
don't. I
strawberries
don't like to
in?
muddle in Bellinis. I like my champagne to be crisp still. You know, I
Sure.
like the carb nations. So yeah, it's Bellini. It's a Bellini. I like Bellinis.
It's pretty.
I'm gonna have the biggest headache in the world tomorrow. I'm fine with that.
Sugar.
Yeah. Evil, what you had looked amazing on the pick. What are you drinking?
Well, there was a little journey. I scrambled before logging in to record because I'm like, I don't have an idea of what I want to make. So I just quickly Googled. I'm like, okay, Trent Reznor. I'm thinking absinthe. I'm thinking the Perfect Drug video. So I'm like, okay, what can I make with absinthe and maybe some green chartreuse? And I found like some cocktail. I don't even remember the name. It was equal parts green chartreuse, absinthe, and peach liqueur, which I don't have. And so I'm like, okay, I'll try to whip something together. So I tried that with like apple brandy and lime juice. Like it didn't work. And so I'm like, scrap that. So then I look up 9 Inch Nail cocktails and I found a 9 Inch Nail cocktail, which is like a take on a Drambuie, but it requires some Scotch. You probably can't even get in the US. So I'm like, fuck that. Okay. So did a little bit more Googling and I wound up with this, which is, I think it's called an obituary.
Ooh.
And it's a martini with a little bit of absinthe in it. So it's gin, Mostly gin, a little bit of dry vermouth, a little bit of absinthe. I kind of I played with it a little bit because the recipe I found was in milliliters. I live in a country that has freedom, so I use ounces, God's measurements.
Yeah.
So it's
our measuring system makes so much more sense than the metric system.
I couldn't figure out how to translate eagle talons into liquid volume, so I just used ounces instead.
Nature's blood. Yeah.
So that's 2 ounces of the Botanist gin, quarter ounce Carpano dry vermouth, quarter ounce absinthe. It's fucking delicious. I'm not a huge martini drinker, but when I am in the mood for one, which I am tonight, real good.
Nice.
So,
Are you ever?
And it's pretty.
Oh yeah, that's a great coupe too. Little champagne.
new glasses.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Nachtmann.
It's very Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
It is.
Are you ever a vodka martini guy, or is it always gin?
I don't drink vodka in most things.
I like an occasional dirty vodka martini.
Yeah. See, I'm like a more citrusy martini.
Yeah,
Like the lemon.
Sometimes a vodka martini with just a twist of lime. Like when you're just looking to, I just want to get there. Like, can you just pour vodka in a fucking cold glass and stick a lemon peel in it?
We have a dear friend who his drink is Tito's. It used to just be Tito's with a lemon garnish, but I got him to like actually put in a couple of dashes of orange bitters, and he likes it even more. It has to be extra cold, so that's it. No vermouth. It's just Tito's, a couple of dashes of orange bitters, lemon garnish. I'm like, fuck yeah. That's for real.
DL's 10 out of 10s happens to be my fourth-ish favorite Nine Inch Nails album. That's neither.
Picked well.
That's neither here nor there. We're going to take a break and we're going to talk more about it. We'll be right back.
And then Megan is most likely finishing up yoga right now. And he asked,
I'm so into that.
he's like, oh, she goes to a place and doesn't just do it at home. Like she likes specific instructors. She's kind of a yoga. This is one of my favorite stories about her dad. She was talking to him one time and he's like, how did the yoga competition go for you? Instructor.
I won.
That's been an ongoing joke for 8 years now. Yoga
love it.
competition.
We are back. Hope you enjoyed our yoga talk. I don't know. With Teeth came out in 2005. Interesting year in the United States of America. Grandmaster recording out of Los Angeles. It was, I think, 3 or 4
There's so many places.
mixed. But then, of course, Nothing Studios in New Orleans. This was part of the amazing New Orleans content. Evil currently drinking a drink out of the Perfect Drug era, I think I'd say.
Yeah. Who was the inspiration?
Industrial rock, alt rock. This was the last one through Interscope, or was
Yes.
the next one the last one?
This one was.
I think this was the first one. There's so many I thinks on this one. You would think that I would have thought to have researched better, but that Alan Moulder and Atticus Ross were official producers. The start of the Atticus Rossness, even though he had worked on a lot of stuff with Reznor. This was like the official Reznor and Atticus are now a thing, which was another one of the reasons that I made this a 10 out of 10, because I feel like that's the beginning of the
Atticus Ross phase.
Yeah, Trent Reznor of Yoke Reznor, which I'm sure we'll talk about plenty. He had gotten sober. He decided that, I guess, drugs were bad and he was having writer's block because drugs. Sobered up and made an album and was pretty happy with it. So,
and it was this.
It was this. Well said. I don't want to say it was a resurgence of Nine Inch Nails, but here's what, for me and the people that I knew, this coming out when it did in 2005, people that of my age or near just hadn't talked about Nine Inch Nails. We hadn't talked about them since Downward Spiral and Fragile, really. And even Fragile, that it was few and far between that you'd meet somebody that was into it.
Right.
This one, Nine Inch Nails is back. That was kind of, they were a little bit back in the zeitgeist, kind of. Charts wise, it did well. It hit number 1 in the Billboards, number 3 in the UK.
And then dropped real fast.
It has gone platinum in Canada. That's 100,000, so don't get too excited. And then gold in the UK and the United States. It definitely had hits that played on the radio a lot, which hadn't been done for Nine Inch Nails since Downward Spiral. In their defense, that's not that many albums, not that many shots. Was this at all in your listening back then?
Oh, back then, I don't know. I can't place it memory wise. There are definitely tracks that I'm like, oh yeah, that's like, I've known that forever. I was so very in the metal. Like I had fully blossomed as a metalhead at this point. I was very I'm like, oh, death to everything but metal at this point. So all pop music in general, I wasn't super into. I like I said, the singles, I feel like I've known these forever and ever. So I must have heard it at some point starting back then.
Even if just
on the radio. Because radio was actually still a thing a little bit back then.
Yeah, for sure. Rach, I know that it wasn't on your radar back in the day.
I felt like I knew some of the songs on it from having listened to it before. But then Trevor quickly corrected me and said, no, you remember it from Rock Band. You've never heard these on the radio before. And I was like, I think you're right. This one was obviously just, it's very poppy. It's very easy to listen to. And so for me, this one was, it was fine because it wasn't scary.
I feel like you're saying things that would mean Rachel would like it, but your tone of voice makes it sound like you liked it less because of it. I'm confused.
We'll get into that.
So you're impossible, basically.
Yes. Yeah. I cannot be pleased.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If it's not a skinny white blonde, you're not listening, right?
She wants them 12-inch nails.
Yeah. This was another one of the reasons that I picked this album is because, like I said, I don't necessarily remember this coming out, but I just remember it being around, and I remember it being the kind of, I don't want to say Nine Inch Nails is back, but it was when I just started noticing them again. And maybe it was, I don't remember any marketing. I don't remember if they marketed towards any sort of nostalgia. I don't know. I think people noticed a new Nine Inch Nails. They noticed Trent Reznor wasn't this weird looking fucking skinny goth dude anymore, that he looked like the opposite type of person. That suddenly he was jacked and tan a little bit.
Yeah.
He was a little healthy, which is funny because if you listen to this album, it's almost like when you hear him talk about making this album, he got sober and he felt great and he was really proud of how he made this album. But then you listen to the album and it sounds like somebody that has come to the realization that life is absolutely meaningless and he doesn't really even know what the fuck he's doing here. So there's a real fun juxtaposition there of I don't know if this is just his outlet. We've been through all of his discography over the last month. I don't this isn't a joke. I don't know how there hasn't been some form of, I can't believe this guy's still alive is what I'm going to say. There's some serious Ian Curtis. How the fuck has this guy not, how many times have his friends put him in a room and be like, look, man, we just heard the album. Are you okay? Like, what do we need to do here for you?
I have a thought, and I don't know if this is the case or not. But my example that I always use as the counter argument against the tortured artist is David Lynch, who you would think would be a very troubled individual and, rest his soul, who passed away. Yeah. But he was a very happy, fulfilled, meditated twice a day. He was into transcendental meditation. And he's like, art can be dark and you can be happy. It's art.
Sure.
You create it. The thing with Trent is we associated him with, the downward spiral. Like he was living the life of the tortured artist.
Had that coming.
Right.
Yeah. And creating the tortured art, but then came out through the other side and is happy, jacked and tan. But he's like, do you expect him to completely change his art because of that? Or does he keep making that art just from a different vantage point?
And it's not like he was out of that for very long. Like he was sober, but he hadn't been sober for a super long time. So he could still like dial into those emotions.
That's a good point. I think I was looking at it as this black and white. You get sober, and you get sober because when you get sober at first, you realize that, oh shit, like there's actually a life here but that's not true. For anybody that's had to even at least cool it for a while, there's this gray period where you kind of hate everything a little bit, and you're trying you don't really understand what you were doing with your old life, but you don't really understand this new life now. So that's fair. I like that. I still think it's really, really fucking dark.
Yeah.
A lot of but it's also, there is a lot of what would you say? Like proud independence, a lot of a guy that's kind of feeling very secure in himself at times. Songs like Only.
Yeah.
It's kind of his, it's a little Sabrina Carpenter-y. It's a little
very much.
It's a little, hey, fuck you, guy. I don't need you. Like, I'm good on my own. He's got a little boots are made for walking in him. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, what did you expect him to be? Like David Lee Roth, like walk up to the counter, give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut to go. I mean, he's not going to record Eat 'em and Smile ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
It would be weird if he did that. Like,
but even we established last year that we're massive Stone Temple Pilots fans, that we love Stone Temple Pilots. But I'm not going to say, I thought anyway, until we really dissected them, but you could tell when he was sobered up, a lot of the things that I'm not saying this music was worse, but his lyrics and kind of the vibe of him would change a little. Mm-hmm. And he'd get this kind of positive energy sort of thing going. And I'm not saying there wasn't one that was worse or better. I'm not like Core compared to Tiny Music, but I guess how do you write a song like Every Day Is Exactly the Same and stay sober? That's the question I'm asking. Like because here's the thing is I'm somebody that gets out of it and they get healthy and they're trying to take care of themselves. Like Evil, for example. Evil will deny it up and down because it's the jacked and tan genre. But even a guy like Evil's going to have moments of depression and sadness. And he's going to lock himself in the shower listening to Nine Inch Nails. So the question, you could deny it. I know it happens. So the question is not how does it work, but I think it makes me like this album because it's a reminder that you can't pigeonhole people into a certain thing.
Right.
Sure. Like the King Gizzards.
Yeah. Because even a guy, like, I would never think that a guy like Evil, I would never think that you would listen to a song like Every Day Is Exactly the Same. I feel like you would want to listen to that and be like, get over it. Like, who the fuck? But at the same time, anybody over 30 that doesn't listen to that, and there's at least a little bit of like, yep, yeah, yeah. Like, there can't be a single person that isn't like, okay, I definitely feel what's going on in this fucking song. You know what I mean?
I've seen Office Space. I mean, I lived it. I know what it's like.
Oh,
yeah. Naga.
That moment where he's like reaching for the door handle and he knows there's going to be like a static electricity shock and he does it and he's like, fuck. Anyway, that is brilliant. Brilliant. But then Trent got a job outside, working construction.
It feels better.
Fucking A.
Yeah. Sounds like somebody got a case of the Mondays. That's my favorite saying when the dude's like, has anybody at your work said sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays?
Oh my god.
Shit, no, man. I believe you'd get your ass kicked if you said something like that. Rachel, do you feel that every day is exactly the same?
Often, yes.
Yeah.
I sure do.
Yeah. It's relatable.
Yeah.
Makes you real sad.
I think especially when you get older and you're like, what should we have for dinner?
And every day just starts playing in the back of your head.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm going to like this because it's dark and it's minimal and it's heavy and it's Trent Reznor and it's Trent Reznor doing Trent Reznor things. Are there specific tracks or parts of this for you guys that...
Before you say tracks, we did not do the friendship test.
Oh, shit.
And that could give some stuff away.
Ooh,
So
yeah,
Well
good,
done.
Good call.
Well done,
Thank you.
Rachel. Friendship test. Rachel,
yeah.
you were the friendly reminder. What are our favorite songs on the album?
Okay, I have it this time.
You-
Evil, You Know What You Are,
That's a
because it
Yeah.
rocks,
It does rock.
and you could lift kettlebells to it. You could just get angry to it. I think it's your vibe. David the Collector has a very odd time signature, and it's just a weird song.
Yeah, the drums
So-
that start that are fucking really fucking cool. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. I'll go next. I wanted to be different, and which always means I'm wrong, and that's okay because my instinctive pick for Evil is You Know What You Are because of the reasons Rachel said. It's fast and it's heavy, and he's yelling at you, and it's awesome. But I actually said Sunspots.
Ooh.
Because there's really, really cool guitar, rocky, buildy type things in that with really cool hooks that I feel like Evil could get caught up in something like that. Rachel, with You, I said Only because it's fucking cool. It's got a great disco beat, basically. And I think the hook is fucking crazy. I know that you aren't a big Trent lyric guy, and this probably doesn't help that because you aren't into the repetitive chorus stuff.
Yeah.
But a fun, cool fucking song with a great bass beat and disco drums, and so I said Only. Evil, what do you think?
All right. I know I'm going to be wrong, but I thought about this more than I probably have for most other albums. I usually am just like, fuck, this one, or words, that one.
Yeah.
I actually thought about this, and like I said, I'm probably going to be wrong. For Rachel, I picked The Hand That Feeds because it is the pop banger of the
It
album.
is.
It's
It
like
totally is.
Yeah.
the catchiest, hookiest, most immediate.
It's a 3-minute ditty.
Yeah, and that's what she likes.
I love a 3-minute ditty.
Yep.
For you threw me. You like a ditty? Yeah, she does. That's what she said. For DL, I really wanted to pick Sunspots because I actually looked at a ton of like 9 Inch Nail fans, polls and stuff, and that one was on top for so many people.
Sunspots is an awesome fucking song.
So it's interesting that you picked that for me. But I actually went with Only because I think it's also a banger, but it's a little bit different. And it's
very
groovy,
unique.
And it's
It
got
is.
that disco beat. And I think he might like that one the most.
Interesting.
It was a shell game there. It was like, and I'm like, no, I'm going to go with Only. Even though it seems like kind of like the dumb pick, I'm going to pick it anyway. Anyways.
It's not a dumb pick. It's definitely not.
You guys are
Rachel,
both
thank
wrong,
you
by
for
the way.
saving us from ourselves.
Yeah, I got you.
Now tell us what specifically you really enjoyed or hated about this.
Evil, somebody mentioned lyrics on this album.
Yeah, me.
I just didn't care about lyrics. After listening to the rest of the discography of this
It's Trent Reznor.
gentleman,
It's very,
I just,
you
know,
got me on my
it's-
hands and knees and bite the hand that feeds and get
Sure,
off your
it's
knees.
not as-
and
it's not as
it's like
forte,
a
but it's
fucking
fine.
nursery rhyme. It's like, yeah, touch your elbows, touch your toes, get on your knees, get up, jump down. Yeah.
But I obviously like it's the most pop friendly of all of his albums. So that's what I love the most about it. But you did mention like it does have, outside of like this industrial rock sound, you mentioned disco, like it has these other aspects of music, genres of music, the bass, the drums. I mean, Dave Grohl's drumming. You forget that he's a drummer until he drums. And then it's just
I don't.
I do, because I was aware of Nirvana as a kid, but Nirvana was just Kurt Cobain, you know, and you didn't. And honestly, his drumming back then was not anything amazing. But these days, damn, he's good. So that was an aspect of the album that I really, really, really liked.
No, I'm glad that you brought up Dave Grohl being on it. That's what one of the things that I really liked about it is the songs like The Collector and things like that, where that drum beat is such a loud, prominent thing that hadn't, if you watch, I talked about this in the last episode, but if you watch NIN live, the drumming is amazing. It's fucking epic on there. You watch a song like Perfect Drug and the drummers going insane. There wasn't a lot of that. There wasn't any of that until albums like this, where I know Dave Grohl had kind of worked with Trent Reznor a lot, but that is one layer on this album that's fucking really cool and adds a lot of rockness to it.
Playing those disco dancing beats.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at
He
that.
loves his disco, man.
He does.
I do think that I don't know if it's a old 9 Inch Nails is over and he's trying to figure out his newer vibe, and because of that I do feel like there's something missing in this album. I
Is
like
it heroin?
how usually if an album's not good, it's because the person's not doing heroin. But you do have, one of the reasons that I love Sunspot so much, and that I figured that at least one of you would too, is there's a lot. Sunspots is kind of the new and the old together. Sunspots is,
Sure.
You hear a lot of old 9 Inch Nails in it, but you hear a lot of the new too. And I think that there's a lot of that in this album. There's a lot of you can hear some downward spiral stuff, but then you hear some of the score stuff that would start happening with him and things like that.
It's a good mix.
It is, right? I think. I always say. You know what? I'm really mad. I don't know why this just popped in my head, but it's on topic. So don't worry about that. It's totally on topic.
I doubt it.
It's not at all on topic. I don't even remember who my breakout artist of the season was last year, but who it was not was Echo Vandal. And I had just seen... So Echo Vandal is she lives in Australia.
Weird.
She calls herself a rapper, but it's more like punk stuff. And she started coming out with teasers for music last year, and just the teasers and like one single. And it was so fucking good. I was really hoping that she was going to come out with an album last year. She just got done opening for Idols in Australia. Like, I was in love with her teasers so much, and I wanted the album. That didn't come, but then I knew that I was going to love it because she started opening for Idols. And now I think she's going to be opening for like Limp Bizkit or somebody like she's starting to catch on. I'm telling you, if you listen to some of that shit that she's doing, it's not rap. It's like...
Is it dad vibes?
It's like, it's kind of dad vibey. It's punky. I'll send you a link to one of the teasers. I should have picked Echo Vandal.
That's
a
a great name.
I just wanted you guys, right?
I love that name.
I just wanted you guys to know that.
It's on topic.
Right?
But maybe the album will come this year, and then we can talk about it.
That's my hope. I'm hoping that her and Big Black Delta's album come out. And
you love Big Black Delta.
I do.
While we're segueing here real briefly, I tapped into a fucking vein of gold in Spotify in the last few days.
Ooh.
And found a whole bunch of bands that all put albums out last year. God damn it. That
really?
I fucking absolutely love. It's very sludgy metal rock, like clean singing, but like sludgy.
We can skip through it. No biggie.
Fuck.
I guess that's why we're we got to be a podcast for another 5 years so we can do the
damn
5-year look back or whatever.
It's like when I'm looking for new music, I can never find it. But when I just like am listening randomly, I stumble upon stuff, and then it's just there. I'm like, there's like
Ain't that always the way?
7 to 8 new bands for me to dive into.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys ever do the day lists on Spotify?
No.
Like listen to your
Spotify.
Because that's true. That's how I find a lot of new music.
You know, Megan and I had this discussion. She's like, I hate that Spotify just feeds me stuff that I've already listened to.
Sure.
I used to listen to Pandora at the gym. And the thing about Pandora is if you just let it play for an hour and a half, it would stay in the pocket.
Yeah.
But if you didn't thumbs up or thumbs down, because it was like trying to find stuff for you to interact with, it would start reaching out into the corners of the universe and pulling in some weird shit.
Yeah.
And I found so much music by just letting Pandora play on a station for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Where it started pulling in the most random. That's how I found Death from Above, 1979. It's how I found, I think maybe like Rival Sons. It's how I found a bunch of stuff that I am really into now. So I find it's harder to do that with Spotify, because Spotify is very much, it's like it's isolated. Like it gives you more of what you have told them that you like versus like, hey, try this. You might like this. It's
to this day when I remember that I have Pandora.
Yeah.
And I turn on because that's a playlist I've cultivated with them for fucking 12 years. It's amazing. Like I'll turn it on a summer while I'll remember it, and it's like the greatest 10 hours of cleaning of my life. And you're right. Still to this day, if I listen to it for an hour or two, there's going to be one song that I'm like, what the how have I never heard this before? This is amazing.
Yeah.
And it could be some weird, obscure, like 70s song that I'm like, what the fuck is this? This is so good.
Yeah.
I gotta get back to Pandora more, I think.
I think me too. Just to discover stuff.
Let's discover things.
Let's discover things together.
Pandora.
And apart.
Let's start being Pandora people and not Spotify people.
Ooh. I like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Pandora. Will you help us out?
Back. Yeah.
Can we still listen to Spotify to study though? Thanks, Pandora. I guess we should save the rest for episode 2. Hi, Margot. How's Margot doing?
She's good. She couldn't get the door open. I had shut it too far.
Clickety clacking away.
She just got her first actual full-on grooming at the salon. She got her shampoo and her nails done. She's a very fancy lady.
How'd that go?
Good. I took her on a Saturday and it was kind of busy and I didn't really think it through, but they're like, okay, it'll be like 2 to 4 hours. And I was like, it doesn't take that long to wash a dog. But they have all these other dogs that, they don't know how long it's going to take to wash them. There? And they just shove them in kennels in the back. And I didn't think about that because she's never in a kennel. She's such a good dog. So we never kennel her unless she's like being bad and she needs to be punished for like 10 minutes. But she was really happy when she came out of it. So that was good. But she smells delicious now.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's very
Grooming
good.
is such a weird word. Like grooming a dog. Hey, yay. Grooming a teenager. Not so good.
No.
If you're at a wedding and you're the groom, technically you're grooming.
I like these episodes.
How do we get out of that one?
I don't know. I have no idea. Should we talk about Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively? Because that's fucking
Oh my gosh.
That's so fun. It's fun stuff. It really is.
The bride and the grooming.
I just have always, and even I get the Deadpool. I liked the first one, so like that.
Yeah.
I've always fucking hated Ryan Reynolds so much, and I've known that he's a fucking like. There's something about him that has to be a complete diabolical sociopath. I've just known it in my heart since like the waiting.
Since Ryan or Van Wilder. Write that down.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he played a character based off of Bert Kreischer's life.
Yeah. Yeah. He played it really well. Every time on Hulu, because he bought that Welsh soccer team with the guy from Always Sunny,
Yeah.
Rob McElhenney. And I watched Wrexham. I love it. I especially love the second to the later seasons because they don't show Rob and Ryan that much. It's about the team. It's not about the fucking owners. But even then, everything like from the movie Waiting and all the Deadpool stuff works because it's him. But there's such a weird forced, like you can tell everything that's coming out of his mouth. He like practiced in the morning. It's the weirdest fucking thing. You know what I mean?
I forget who told me, and I haven't confirmed this, but apparently at one point on his Instagram, it was something like when people sit in a room and judge you, like they watch a show or something. What's that called?
Oh, like a panel? Like
a bunch of people sit in a room and then tell you what they don't do or don't like about a person or a show or whatever. But he had said that that's who he is as a person, is what people like about him. And so that made me think like he probably has no personality whatsoever, and he's just what people expect or want from him.
I don't know much about the case. I haven't Amber heard much about it yet.
Heyo. Modern dad joke. I don't know anything either. I just know that it does have a lot of Johnny Depp Amber Heard qualities about it.
Because I don't care anymore.
And I also know that every time I see Blake Lively, she looks like a fucking villain in a movie. Like she just looks like a Gone Girl villain, somebody that poisoned the dinner of the husband.
Yeah.
About to drink a martini after she killed her. Somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe she's playing an elaborate game of Clue.
I heard they're remaking that movie. They better not.
Clue?
Oh, it does not need to be remade. Don't touch it.
No. Just rewatch the amazing.
Do you know have I told the story, my experience with Clue?
No.
The game or the movie?
This is alleged. I'm making the story up.
Sure.
That's funny. That's
that out.
Good.
I'll bleep that out.
College of Idaho used to have, I don't know if they still do, it used to be a wet campus. You could drink on campus.
Dope.
And the legend was that it was the only wet campus in the Northwest. I don't know if that's actually true or not, where you could actually have kegs on campus. And
they must have never been to U of I.
Well,
can you have them or do you have them?
Yeah.
There's rules.
Right. Like technically you were legally, they were allowed to. And in the spring they had the spring fling, and it was the time everyone kind of let loose and partied. Blink played there before they were Blink 182 my freshman year, and they were horrific. They were terrible.
I bet.
Kind of like they are today. Anyways.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was before. What was their first big hit? Like This Is Growing Up. No.
Small things.
What's my age again?
Yeah. No.
Oh,
before
no.
that.
This Is Growing Up.
Yeah, This Is Growing Up. Which actually I liked that back then.
That's a great song.
Yeah, it was before that. They were honing their craft still. Anyway, my senior year.
Our fart joke songs aren't honed enough.
During spring fling, someone gave me something that may have been a fungus. I don't know. This is all a fictitious story. Never had done anything like that
like those
again.
ants.
I remember being in a dorm room and there was a big group of people and they were like passing a baggie of something around, and they
Cheetos?
gave me some and I just ate it all, and everyone was like, "Whoa!" And
all of it?
Yeah. They're like, "How many times have you done this?" I'm like, "This is my first." And everyone's like, "Oh." Anyway, so
enjoy the ride.
Tripping balls, walking around campus. Ned Evett was playing at the Student Union building with his mirrored guitar. That was pretty fucking amazing to watch on whatever it was. Cupcakes and
perfectly legal.
Yeah, very legal, allegedly.
Yep.
And I remember at one point it was kind of like lightly raining. It was warm out because it was spring. It just felt amazing. I could hear the grass. It was telling me stories. And I remember walking into a house where all my friends were. They had all the blinds pulled and they were watching Clue. And I've never seen the movie except for this piece. I walked in. First of all the lights are out. There's like 10 people in this living room watching this small old school television. None of them looked at me when I walked in. That was creepy because they were also.
Yeah.
And it was the point in the movie where someone knocks on a door, it gets answered, someone gets shot. And I was just like, this is way too much for me to deal with right now. And I just had to immediately leave. So that is the only...
That's the only thing you've ever seen of Clue.
So I went and listened to Incubus in a dorm room basement, and everything became okay at that point.
That
You should really
sounds
watch Clue.
like such a
It's
that
such a
sounds
good
like
movie.
that sort
Allegedly.
of trip.
Allegedly.
I went through a very similar thing with The Big Lebowski, but it was cool. Like it was the only time that I've experienced, what is it, synesthesia?
Yeah.
When you can see sound.
Yes.
Where they would talk and I could see the way. It was the craziest fucking thing it was
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
On a similar note, Frisian. Have you guys heard of this or know what it is?
A scale.
Frisian?
Frisian. It's where, like, when you listen to music, you get goosebumps.
Oh.
Does this not have this?
Yeah.
I was reading something on Instagram and it says this thing happens to 10% of people. This happens to me. And I didn't know it wasn't a thing for everyone.
So like when a specific part of a song hits and you get goosebumps.
Yeah. Like
That
up
doesn't-
my arm and down my leg. Like,
That happens to 10% of people?
oh, yeah, apparently.
No way.
I figured it would be more because
happens.
there's music that will like elicit like
Yeah.
a tactile response from me.
Sure.
How is that not like
Probably why we have a
90%?
music podcast.
Are you sure you didn't reverse it?
No. Because
That's like Missy
I
Elliott.
talked to Trevor about it immediately afterwards. And he's like, well, I think I get like moved by music. I don't know that I physically get like goosebumps about it though.
You married that guy, huh?
I know. Well, I was getting older. Needed to.
We have got to get to the awards, the categories, the next
do it.
episode. We love you guys. We'll be back next Monday to still talk about With Teeth. Evil, great job by you. Rachel, great job by you.
Thanks.
High fives all around. Mediocre to bad job by my laptop.
Yeah.
We will see you next week. Good night and good luck.
Oh, I